how to make an avoidant chase you without playing games. As you know, I'm a therapist. I'm not into games and manipulation. The point of my work, the point of my videos is to give you some tips, guidance, things that I've seen working with my clients on how you can connect with an avoidant partner. I used to be dismissive avoidant, so also sharing my own experience and also how I see the world, I know is very helpful. So in this video, it's really about recreating that attraction in a way that you think you've lost. And the thing is, when you deal with an avoidant, it's very easy to assume they moved on already. They have no feelings. And when you think about it and you reflect, and you know that a week after the breakup, for instance, or a week before this argument or this phase of withdrawal, they told you, I loved you. You had an amazing time together. So no, attraction is not gone. It's just a question of changing the dynamic, of understanding their attachment style. I'll explain everything and give you some practical tools should you want your partner to come back to you and reignite this attraction. So first of all, you need to understand that avoidance, we have a deep fear of closeness. Being close to someone is losing our independence, and we hate it for that reason. So the thing is, when they are scared of losing their independence, that doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. It's just their coping mechanism preventing them from connecting at a deeper level. So they could be in love with you, they could really enjoy your company, but somehow that intimacy becomes overwhelming. And so if you become clingy, needy, that would trigger that idea of like, oh, it's too much for me. You require too much of me in terms of intimacy, and therefore I have no other option than to withdraw. So what you have to do is to create that space, because our sense of safety as avoidant is space. Your sense of safety, if you have an anxious attachment style, is closeness. And this is why you have a clash. And this is why each partner needs to learn, for avoidant, to learn how to develop intimacy, how to develop emotional maturity, and for anxiously attached people to develop that sense of independence. And what is very interesting is that the reason people are attracted to each other is because they complement each other. So that's why you will always find avoidant being attracted to anxious people and anxious people attracted to avoidant people. Because as an avoidant, I'm attracted to people who are able to connect emotionally. I'm attracted to people who are in control, who are taking the lead of the relationship, etc., etc. For anxious people, and think about it if you have an anxious attachment style, you're not attracted to people who are emotionally unavailable, right? Because it's the downside of the relationship. You're attracted to people who are independent, who are driven, all those things that you maybe lack. And in that sense, you want to have this person in your life to teach you this. So the point of having a healthy relationship and a secure relationship is to use each of your strength rather than focusing on the weaknesses. The problem is that when you have a clash of anxious avoidant, we focus on the weakness. So the thing is, you have to understand their need for space. You have to connect with them at their own pace. Anytime you pressure them, anytime you're clingy, you're pushing them away, and you're triggering this vicious circle of withdrawal. The more you push, the more they withdraw. The more you push, the more they withdraw, etc., etc. And the best strategy, if you want to attract an avoidant partner, if you want to be happy in your relationship, and actually the only one that matters, is to be secure in yourself. When you're confident, you're automatically attractive. When you show that you can be independent, that you can have your own life, that you're happy without them, you're gonna create that attraction, right? Because if you're needy, if you're clingy, that's what they fear. So do the opposite and they'll be attracted automatically. And so this emotional self-sufficiency is something that I help my clients to develop, because sometimes it's not natural. Sometimes we, as a child and through different relationships, we have developed this sense of like, I need to be with someone in order to feel that I'm loved, that I'm worthy, etc., etc. So you have to do this work, and perhaps now is the opportunity, if you're trying to figure out what to do next with this partner, to develop this secure attachment style. That's what I do with my clients. Have a look in the description. There are a few links for you should you want to discover this secure base approach that I developed. It's really about, okay, how can I change my mindset, shifting from I need validation, I need to get them to know that I'm alive, I need to get them to tell me that they love me, that I'm important in their life, to a sense of self-validation, which is, again, a process. Is something that you have to learn and in a way unlearn a lot of things that you've done in the past. But what you have to do is realize that if you develop that secure attachment style, you'll become more attractive because you'll be showing a sense of independence. And also, because the point is not to run after them. The point is to be the magnet. You see, the video is about them chasing you, not you chasing them. And I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you've tried in the past chasing them. That doesn't work with an avoidant, right? Because then you reiterate this image of I'm chasing, I'm pushing, I'm clingy. And that is counterproductive. That's how you feel you need to do, but that's counterproductive. So shift this mindset to, okay, focus on myself. That's the next slide. Prioritize your own life, things you can control. It sounds a bit cliche, but hobbies, friends, and growth, it's basically how can you design your life on your own terms? Finding fulfillment in other activities than just relationship. Yes, having a healthy romantic relationship is amazing, but it's not the only thing you can get from life. So right now, if you don't have that romantic relationship, design a life where you have strong social connections, where you do things that you like doing, where you learn things, when you grow as a person. If you do that, and if you're busy doing that, trust me, you will feel way, way better than focusing on how can I repair this relationship. If you shift and stop making them center of the world, that also reinforce that self-confidence. They also help you to, learning and doing things, progressing will develop what we call self-efficacy, which will boost your confidence. Think about it, if you want to be attractive, have an attractive life. If you're at home, only watching my videos, that's the only thing you do, I'm not sure you're going to be super attractive. So think about the things you could do and implement, but do it for yourself, obviously. Yes, indirectly, it will affect your partner, and maybe the motivation is to get them back, fair enough, or to prove them wrong, fair enough, as long as there's a motivation to start taking care of yourself and designing a life that works for you, not a life that is aligned with what they want, that is aligned with getting back with them. We don't care about that. Right now, it's like, okay, what can I do about myself? And feeling alive. Because I know relationship makes us feel alive. When you don't have the relationship, you feel like, what's the point? No. You can design that life without that partner. And maybe, eventually, once you've designed that life, you'll decide if you want to get back with them. You'll decide if actually there's a space in your life for them, right? And not the other way around. So it's very important to shift, again, this focus. This video is really about shifting the mindset and shifting things in how you approach things in your life. Once you have this approach, things are so much easier. And so when you're in touch, if you're in touch, you have to match their energy. Often people who have an anxious attachment style, they see a sign of connection as there's a sign for me to escalate, right? They sent me a message, I'm going to send you 2 messages. They called me, I'm going to call back, etc., etc. The point is really matching their pace, their tone, the communication. This way, yes, it's frustrating, but this way you are sure that you're not going to overwhelm them. And so it's really a question, and then I spend all of my time with my WhatsApp clients on this, is to really try to find the right pacing. Yes, you need to progress. Yes, things need to sort of move forward because you don't want to stay at the minimum level of intimacy, but you need to develop and mirror their communication along the way, because otherwise what you're going to do, you're going to create this avoidant anxious trap that we discussed before. And obviously this wouldn't work, and you'll get back to the breakup or to the phase where they feel, okay, this is too much for me. I can't give you what you want, etc., etc. And then it's about creating what I call low pressure connection. Avoidants, they like spending time with their partner. They don't necessarily like talking about things. I mean, that's what I do. So the thing is, you need to keep all the interactions light, enjoyable. Don't talk about the past. Don't talk about the relationship. Again, at the beginning, then it's an evolution, right? But at the beginning, you need to really make sure that they have a good time with you. And the good time with you is the connection is not about emotional intimacy, it's about doing things together and sharing a good time with them. So you have this, you're creating this intake of dopamine and oxytocin without the drama, basically. And that emotional intimacy will develop naturally. Then obviously you don't want to be in an on and off, a hot and cold situation forever. My programs, when I help people, it's never more than 3 months. The reason is because if you're in touch with your ex, because within these 3 months, you give enough opportunities for them to show you that they can make a bit of effort. Because the whole point is, yes, you're doing the work, but you need for them to do the work as well and meet you halfway, because otherwise it's not going to work out. So the point is finding the right platform to get that inspiration or motivation to meet you halfway, and then you can go on without my help. And I don't want you to need my help forever. That doesn't make sense. It's different than therapy. If it's just a process of reconciling an avoidant, anxious relationship, honestly, 12 weeks, 3 months, that's enough to give enough to know whether it's going in the right direction or not. That doesn't mean that you're going to get back together at the end of the 3 months, but it gives you an indication that that person is actually doing the work. And maybe eventually that's not going to work out, but at least you know you've done your part, you know you've created that secure base. And if it doesn't work out, you have no regret whatsoever. So consistency, steady, really take your time. And again, have this time frame of 3-6 months max. Because you don't want to be, I want this, I want more. And you only get the minimal amount of investment of intimacy. This is temporary. If after 3 months of you trying, there's nothing, then give up. I mean, you don't give up. You don't give up. You're not giving up on you. You're letting go. That's very important. It's not on the slide, but I need to tell you this. Sometimes people have a hard time because they feel if I move on, that means I give up. No. Give up would mean that you're doing something that will be negative to you. No. If you let go of something toxic, something that's not working for you, that's actually a win. So right now, yes, the win is getting back together because we had something special and because I love this person. But understand that a win can also, I walk away from this relationship because he or she can't meet my needs. Because he or she can't invest in the relationship. And therefore, I will be unhappy going forward in this relationship. And it's not because of me, because I've developed this secure attachment style. So we're back to the developing this secure attachment style. You can only let go efficiently if you have the right outlook on the relationship and on yourself. If you manage to develop secure working models, so it's called working models in attachment theory. And so it's all about being composed, responding, don't react. So I discussed about de-escalation, keeping your cool. So again, when you develop a secure attachment style, you develop emotional regulation capacity. Shifting from like asking for reassurance, demanding things, etc., etc. Sometimes it's good to go a bit of no contact to create that room to miss you. It really depends. Sometimes it's better to leverage and get the momentum going. It really depends on the cases, and unfortunately, there's no. I try to have some sort of mapping of, and that's why I mostly do one-on-ones because it really depends on the cases. Again, when you feel overwhelmed, stressed, and anxious, remember about how they function. Remember, so that's why people love WhatsApp, because they can ask me what's going on in their mind, and I'll tell them, because of this and that. And once you understand how they function, it becomes easier to leave them that space, to stop chasing. Understand that the best way you can attract them back is developing this confidence. And the thing is, usually after a breakup, our confidence is shattered, right? We are below zero. And the point and the only thing that matters right now is to rebuild that confidence. And again, developing that secure attachment style will help you boost this confidence. And in a way, developing this confidence is more or less the same way you would develop that secure attachment style. If this video helped you, don't hesitate to click on like. That does help me a lot. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed any of my content. That will help me tremendously to reach out more people. And I'll see you next time. Take care.